Red Flannel Hash can include some funny lore, as one story includes an angry housewife who throws her husband's favorite red flannel shirt into a hash. But the real beauty of this dish is the nice vibrant colors from the beets, and to shamelessly plug your other videos like braised lamb to make a complete dish like this one seen here. Link to the other video up top and in the description. Now, I hate to start with a somber note, but tragedy struck wake up smell the. While a very handsome and well-endowed host, who will remain nameless, was trying to show off and throw onions from one side of the camera to the other, he missed, thus striking poor little Pepper Bowl. Let's take a moment to remember Pepper Bowl. He was supposed to retire in 2 days. Alright, take two. Let's go ahead and take a quick shot of how awesome I really am. The host is with his hands. And go over what you need for this recipe. I did 2 sweet potatoes, 1 red beet, and an onion. But don't get too caught up on amounts or anything. We're gonna just really go over more techniques, as hashes really are just catch-all dishes. So starting with the beet, let's go ahead and preheat our oven to around 375, and then oil and salt this guy. Now, we want to transfer it to a container that can go into a hot oven, so I just have this really small pot. And to make sure that it doesn't scald on the bottom, we're going to put a small amount of water in. The steam will also help with that skin when we pull it out at the end. Cover it in aluminum foil and put it in the oven for around 45 minutes to start. Now, it might take a longer time depending on the size of the beet, the heat of your oven, or things like that. But what we're looking for is for a knife to go through and to kind of come out much easy. It'll have a little bit of squishiness to it as well, if that's the best way I can describe it, squishiness. The best time to peel a beet is immediately after it's come out of the oven. And by using some form of a napkin or towel or cloth, we can almost rub it right off the outside. But if you've waited or if you're just too nervous to use that method, a peeler works just fine. Now, I do recommend wearing gloves and having a separate cutting board just for this that's easy to clean, because you can see it dyes everything. Let's just go with a large dice on this. I'm not really worried about smaller cuts with this. It's a hash and we want it to look kind of rustic. Next, let's go over our sweet potato. First, we just need to peel off the outside. And to make it a wee bit more safer, we're going to peel just a couple more times on one side to make it a flat surface. And let's just go with a large dice on this as well, because we're trying to make everything around the same size so it'll cook evenly. Also, a quick tip from someone who's given his soul to the kitchen gods for the majority of his life. Notice how I'm moving things from one side of the board, cutting in the middle, and then moving it to the other side. I then return it back to the original side before I do the next cut. Now, this is part of a grander scheme called mise en place, which we're going to go over in a video one day down the road, but that's a good quick tip for you. To cook these bad boys, we're going to bring some water up to a boil and add a decent amount of salt. This is called a blanching pot, and this is what's going to cook the inside of the potatoes. So when the water comes back to a boil, we want to drop in our sweet potatoes and cook them for about 4 to 5 minutes in this bath. This will cook the inside. We want to immediately transfer these potatoes to water that has either ice packs or ice in it. This is a shock bath and will stop the cooking process. And lastly, we just need to take our onion, take off the top and bottom, cut it in half, and we're just going to do a simple julienne on that. Again, size really doesn't matter. We just want everything to be a similar size. So to recap, we've got our sweet potatoes that have been blanched and shocked, our beet that has been roasted with just a little bit of water in the bottom to help steam off that skin, and our large julienne onion. You're going to want a large cooking vessel, so what this handsome man is showing you is what I use. It's called a rondeau. It's a much larger kind of pot/pan with 2 handles that we use a lot in the industry. Let's start out by getting some oil hot in a pan until it has the consistency of water. And we're going to start out with our sweet potatoes, so they're going to take the longest to cook. We want those in first. Salt and pepper. Salt, pepper, and add your butter. I only took a shot of me putting 1 tablespoon in, but it was probably 3 by the end of the day. And we're going to take a wooden spoon and push all this to the outside and lower the heat because we need to sweat our onions. Now, sweating is just putting your heat down to a lower level, adding your fat like this butter, and letting them get a little translucent. And when they've become aromatic and translucent, let's bring the sweet potatoes back into the mix, get them together, and then push them both to the side, because now we need to do our beets. Now remember, the beets are pretty much cooked already, so we're just going to salt and pepper them. So remember, we're doing sweet potato first because it's going to be the longest cooking process, giving it some time to cook low and slow while the onions get there as well, and then we just need to reheat the beets. So here we see it again with the addition of the braised lamb, and that video can again be seen in the top right link and the link in the description. And I do apologize for using the same footage twice, as some might see this as a rehash. Nailed it. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day or evening. Thank you.